My husband was cheating on me with my sister, and when I found out, my world fell apart. So I did the unthinkable. I still remember the exact moment I made the worst decision of my life. It was a Tuesday afternoon when my sister called, her voice cracking through the phone. She'd just been dumped by her boyfriend of 3 years, she said. Caught him cheating with someone from his gym. She was devastated, broke, had nowhere to go. Could she stay with us for a few weeks? I should have said no. God, I should have said no. But she was my baby sister. And despite everything our parents had put me through, the constant comparisons, the way they'd drop everything for her while I had to beg for attention, I couldn't turn her away. She sounded so small, so broken. I told myself I was being the bigger person. That family was supposed to help each other. My husband seemed hesitant when I mentioned it that evening. We were in the kitchen, him chopping vegetables for dinner while I set the table. "Are you sure that's a good idea?" he asked, not looking up from the cutting board. "We finally have the house to ourselves. It's been nice, just us." "It's only temporary," I said, wrapping my arms around him from behind. "She needs help getting back on her feet. We have the spare room doing nothing." He sighed, set down the knife, turned to face me. "Okay, if it's important to you. But let's set some boundaries, all right? A month, maybe 2 at most." She moved in that weekend with 3 suitcases and a broken spirit. For the first week, she barely left the guest room. I'd hear her crying through the walls at night. I brought her meals, sat with her, let her talk about the betrayal. How could he do this to her? How could she not have seen the signs? I held her hand and told her what everyone tells the brokenhearted. That time heals, that she deserved better, that this wasn't her fault. By the second week, she started emerging more. Showering regularly, joining us for dinner, even smiling occasionally. My husband and I had been together for 6 years, married for 4, and our routine was comfortable. We'd both wake at 6, him making coffee while I showered. Then we'd swap. Breakfast together before driving to our respective jobs. Simple, easy, boring in the best way possible. One evening over pasta, I suggested she might want to start looking for work. Nothing pushy, just gentle encouragement. She bit her lip, looked down at her plate. "I don't know if I'm ready yet," she said quietly. "What if I run into him? This city feels so small now." "Then maybe start with something low-key," I offered. "What about my husband's company? They're always hiring for administrative positions." "It's a big building, different floor from where you'd run into anyone from your old circle." My husband glanced at me, surprised, but nodded slowly. "Yeah, I could put in a word with HR. We do need someone in client services. The pay's decent and the team is solid." Her face lit up for the first time since she'd arrived. "Really? You'd do that for me?" She reached across the table and squeezed my hand. "I don't know what I'd do without you. You've always been there for me even when I didn't deserve it." I squeezed back, feeling warm and needed. This was what family was supposed to be, I thought, supporting each other through the hard times. 2 weeks later, she started working on the 3rd floor of his office building. He was on 7, different departments, different break rooms, different everything. It seemed perfect. She'd have income, independence, a reason to get dressed and leave the house. She'd stop being my project and start being her own person again. I was so proud of myself for helping her. So absolutely, catastrophically proud. The first month went smoothly. She'd come home with stories about her coworkers, about learning the database system, about feeling like herself again. She started going out with friends on weekends, started wearing makeup again, started laughing at dinner. My husband and I would exchange satisfied looks across the table. We'd done a good thing. We'd helped family. We were good people. I didn't notice when she started staying late at the office. Didn't think twice when she mentioned grabbing drinks with my husband and some people from his floor after work. Didn't question why she knew so much about his current projects when they supposedly worked in completely different departments. I was working as a nurse at the county hospital, pulling 3 12-hour shifts a week. Long days, but good money and benefits. It meant I was gone from 7 in the morning until 8 at night on those days. Plenty of time for things to happen in my absence. Looking back now, I can see every single red flag I ignored. But hindsight is just another word for torture, isn't it? It started with little things. Things so small I convinced myself I was being paranoid, jealous, silly. 3 months after my sister started at the company, I came home early from a shift that got cut short due to low patient count. It was a Thursday, around 4 in the afternoon. My husband's car was in the driveway, which wasn't unusual. He sometimes worked from home on Thursdays. But her car was there too, and she wasn't supposed to be off until 6. I found them in the living room, sitting close together on the couch, her laptop open between them. They both jumped slightly when I walked in. "Hey," my husband said, his voice a pitch higher than normal. "You're home early." "Slow day," I explained, setting my bag down. "What are you two up to?" "Oh, just helping her with a presentation," he said quickly. "The client services team has this big pitch next week, and she was nervous about the slides." My sister nodded enthusiastically. "He's been so helpful, I didn't want to bother you while you were at work." It made sense. It all made sense. He was good at presentations, she was new to corporate work, they were just being efficient. I smiled, went to the kitchen to make tea, told myself I was being ridiculous. But after that, I started noticing more. The way she'd touch his arm when she laughed at his jokes. How she'd gotten comfortable enough to raid our fridge without asking, standing there in her pajama shorts at midnight when he'd come down for water. The inside jokes that I wasn't part of. The shared glances across the dinner table that I couldn't quite read. "You two seem to be getting along well," I mentioned to my husband one night as we got ready for bed. He was brushing his teeth, and he shrugged through the mirror. "She's nice. Easy to work with. Why?" "No reason. Just noticing." He rinsed and turned to me. "Are you uncomfortable with her being here? We can talk to her about finding her own place if it's too much." No, I said quickly, feeling guilty for even bringing it up. "I'm glad she has support." Forget I said anything. He kissed my forehead. "You're a good sister. Not everyone would do what you're doing for her." I held on to those words like a lifeline over the following weeks. She started coming to the house during lunch breaks. I'd be at the hospital, and my husband would mention casually over dinner that she'd stopped by to grab something she'd forgotten, or to use our better printer, or because the office microwave was broken and she needed to heat up lunch. Always a reasonable explanation. Always logical. "She's here a lot," I said one evening, trying to keep my voice light and non-accusatory. "Is she?" my husband asked, looking genuinely surprised. I guess I hadn't noticed. "She's usually only here for like 20 minutes during lunch." Right. Of course. Then there was the weekend I had to cover an extra shift. Another nurse called in sick and they were desperate. I'd be gone Saturday morning through Sunday evening. When I mentioned it, my sister immediately volunteered to keep my husband company. "Oh, I'll make dinner Saturday night," she said brightly. "You're always cooking for us. Let me return the favor." "You don't have to do that," my husband said, but he was smiling. "I want to. Besides, we can finally watch that series everyone's been talking about." "You're always saying we should." I felt something twist in my stomach, but I pushed it down. They were just being nice. She was bored. He was lonely. They were bonding as family. This was good, actually. I should be happy they got along. Sunday night when I got home, exhausted and smelling like disinfectant, the house was spotless. Too spotless. The kitchen gleamed, there were fresh flowers on the dining table, and candles, burned down to stubs, sat on the coffee table. "Wow," I said, dropping my bag. "You guys went all out." "Your sister's idea," my husband said from the couch, not looking up from his phone. "She thought you'd want to come home to a clean house." "Where is she?" "Went to bed about an hour ago. Said she wasn't feeling great." I walked through our bedroom to change, and something felt off. The bed was made differently than I usually made it. Hospital corners instead of my loose tuck. The pillows were arranged wrong. One of my husband's shirts was tossed over the chair, inside out, which he never did. I stood there in the doorway, my heart starting to pound, my mind racing through possibilities I didn't want to consider. But then my husband came up behind me, wrapped his arms around my waist, kissed my neck. "Missed you," he murmured. And just like that, I let it go. I let it all go. Because the alternative, the thing my gut was trying to tell me, was too horrible to be real. I went to work, I came home, I smiled and cooked and played the role of the good wife, the good sister, the good person who trusted her family, even when I found her hair tie on our nightstand, even when his cologne started smelling different, mixed with a perfume I recognized as hers, even when I came home one afternoon and the shower was running in our master bathroom, and she emerged 10 minutes later in one of my robes, explaining she'd been at the gym and their showers were broken. Every single time, there was an explanation, and every single time I chose to believe it, because believing meant I didn't have to face what was really happening under my own roof. Our 4th wedding anniversary was coming up, and my husband suggested a weekend getaway. "Just the two of us," he said. "A bed and breakfast 2 hours north near the lake. Reconnect, relax, remember why we fell in love." I was thrilled. Maybe I had been paranoid. Maybe the distance I'd been feeling was just normal relationship drift, easily fixed with quality time together. I booked the place, a charming Victorian house with a lake view, and counted down the days. The Friday we were supposed to leave, My sister announced she'd be spending the weekend at our parents' house. "They've been asking me to visit," she said over breakfast. "I figured while you two are gone, it's the perfect time." "That's sweet of you," I said, relief flooding through me. Space. We'd all have space. This was good. We left around noon, my husband driving while I controlled the music, singing along off-key to songs from when we first started dating. He laughed, reached over to squeeze my hand, and for the first time in months, everything felt normal. Felt right. The bed and breakfast was perfect. White linens, fresh flowers, a clawfoot tub. We had dinner at a small restaurant downtown, drank too much wine, walked back holding hands. In our room, we made love like we hadn't in months. Present, connected, actually there with each other. Saturday morning, we slept in, had breakfast in bed. I was in the shower when my phone rang. My husband answered it. When I came out, toweling my hair, he was sitting on the edge of the bed, phone in his hand, face pale. "What's wrong?" I asked. "That was your dad. Your mom had a fall. She's okay, but they're at the hospital. He thinks we should come back." We were dressed and in the car within 20 minutes. I called my dad back for details. She'd tripped, hit her head on the coffee table, probably had a concussion but was being kept for observation. Nothing life-threatening, but scary. We went straight to the hospital. I ran inside while my husband parked, found my dad in the waiting room looking tired but calm. "Where's Mom?" I asked. "Getting a scan. Should be back soon." He hugged me. "Sorry about your weekend. Don't be. I'm just glad she's okay." "Where's my sister?" Something flickered across his face. "She left about an hour ago. Said she needed to get something from your place." My place. From my house. While we were supposed to be gone all weekend. "Dad," I said slowly. "What time did Mom fall?" "This morning around 10. And my sister was there?" "She got there last night for dinner. Stayed over in your old room." I pulled out my phone and opened the location app we all shared for convenience. "My sister was on it too," added when she moved in. Her dot showed her at our house. Had been there since yesterday afternoon. She'd never gone to our parents' house at all. I don't remember walking to the car. I remember my husband's face when I got in, the way his expression shifted from concern to confusion to fear when he saw my face. "Drive to the house," I said. "What? Your mom?" "Drive. To. The house." The 15-minute drive felt like hours. Neither of us spoke. I watched his hands grip the steering wheel, knuckles white. He knew. Of course he knew. Her car was in our driveway. I was out before he'd fully stopped, my key in the lock, door swinging open. The house was quiet. Then I heard it from upstairs, a laugh I recognized. I climbed the stairs. Our bedroom door was closed but not locked. I opened it. They were in our bed. My bed. The sheets I'd washed 3 days ago. She was wearing one of my nightgowns. They weren't touching when I opened the door, but they didn't need to be. The scene told everything. Clothes on the floor, rumpled sheets, her hair on my pillow, his bare chest, the guilty terror on both their faces. I couldn't breathe. "It's not," my sister started. "Don't," I heard myself say. "Don't you dare." My husband scrambled out of bed, pulling on his pants. "Let me explain." "In our bed?" My voice cracked. "How long?" Silence. "How long?" I screamed it. 3 months, my sister whispered. 3 months. The entire time I'd been doubting myself, calling myself paranoid. They'd been doing this. In my house. In my bed. I turned and walked out. Down the stairs. Out the door. Into my car. My husband ran after me, shirtless, barefoot, but I was already backing out. I drove back to the hospital, back to my dad, told him in clinical terms what I'd found. He didn't look surprised. He looked tired. "You knew," I said. "Your mother saw them together a few weeks ago. She didn't want to tell you, thought maybe it would blow over." Everyone I'd trusted had been lying to me. I called a lawyer that night from a hotel room, filed for divorce on Monday. My husband moved out while I stayed with a coworker. I never slept in that house again. The next few days were a blur of paperwork, boxes, and suffocating silence. I moved into a furnished apartment on the other side of town, something temporary while the divorce processed. My coworker had offered her guest room, but I couldn't bear to impose. I needed to be alone anyway, to process the magnitude of what had happened. I told my parents in person, drove to their house on a Tuesday evening, let myself in with the key I'd had since high school. My mother was in the kitchen making dinner. The smell of pot roast, my childhood favorite, made my stomach turn. "Honey," she said, turning from the stove with a smile that faded when she saw my face. "What's wrong?" You know what's wrong. My voice was flat. Dad told me you knew. Her smile vanished completely. She set down the spoon carefully, wiped her hands on her apron. Let's not do this right now. When should we do it, Mom? Next week? Next month? After they get married? The bitterness in my voice surprised even me. My father appeared in the doorway, newspaper in hand. What's going on? She knows, my mother said quietly. About the affair? I laughed. A sharp, ugly sound. Yeah, I know. I caught them in my bed, wearing my clothes, in my house. I looked at my mother. When were you going to tell me? I thought, she started, then stopped. I thought if I didn't say anything, maybe it would end on its own. People make mistakes. Your husband loves you. He was sleeping with my sister. I said slowly, like explaining to a child. In our marital bed. For 3 months. That's not a mistake. That's a choice. Multiple choices. Hundreds of them. My father shifted uncomfortably. These things happen. Marriage is complicated. Don't. I held up a hand. Don't you dare minimize this. My mother moved closer, reaching for me. Honey, I know you're hurt, but your sister is devastated. She never meant for this to happen. She was vulnerable, and things just... I stepped back from her touch. Are you actually defending her right now? I'm not defending anyone. I'm just saying that maybe, with time, you could forgive. Forgive. The word felt foreign in my mouth. She seduced my husband. She used my home, my bed, my trust. And you want me to forgive her? She's your sister, my mother said, her voice taking on that pleading quality I'd heard so many times growing up. She needs you. This has been so hard on her. Hard on her? I couldn't believe what I was hearing. What about me? What about what this has done to me? My mother's face crumpled. Of course I care about you. But your sister? She's always been more sensitive. You're stronger. You'll get through this. There it was. The truth I'd always known but never wanted to acknowledge. Even in my moment of complete betrayal and devastation, my sister's feelings mattered more than mine. I was expected to be strong, to understand, to forgive, because that's what the strong one did. Where is she now? I asked. Upstairs, in her old room. She came back here after everything. And my husband? My father finally spoke, his voice tired. A hotel downtown, last I heard. He's called several times asking about you. I looked at them both. These people who'd raised me, who were supposed to protect me, who'd chosen my sister over me one more time. I filed for divorce yesterday. The house is being sold. I'm keeping my maiden name. You don't have to make any rash decisions. My father said. It's not rash. It's 3 months too late. I pulled my house key off my keyring and set it on the kitchen counter. I don't need this anymore. What does that mean? My mother asked, alarm creeping into her voice. It means I'm done. With all of this. With her. With you choosing her over me every single time. I headed toward the door. You can't just cut us out, my mother called after me. We're your family. I turned back. Family doesn't do this. Family doesn't watch you get destroyed and stay silent. Family doesn't ask the victim to be understanding of the person who betrayed them. I left before they could respond, got in my car, and drove away. My phone started ringing before I'd even reached the highway. My mother, then my father, then my mother again. I let them all go to voicemail. That night, my sister posted on social media for the first time in months, a photo of herself looking sad but beautiful, with some quote about how we can't help who we fall in love with, how the heart wants what it wants. The comments were sympathetic. Most people didn't know the full story. Some did and commented anyway, defending her, saying these things happen. She sent me a text around midnight. I never wanted to hurt you. Can we talk? I blocked her number. She sent an email. Please, I know you're angry, but he was the one who pursued me. I was vulnerable. I didn't mean for this to happen. I blocked her email. She sent a message through a mutual friend. I'm willing to end things with him if that's what you need. Too little, too late, and still making herself the victim. The divorce moved forward. My husband tried to fight it at first, sent flowers to my office, showed up at my apartment building until I threatened a restraining order. Eventually, his lawyer convinced him to just sign. We split everything 50-50. I didn't want more. I just wanted out. 3 months after I'd found them together, the divorce was finalized. On the same day, my sister posted a photo of herself and my ex-husband together, officially announcing their relationship. The caption, "When you know, you know." I sat in my empty apartment, divorce papers on the coffee table, and laughed until I cried. The decision to leave came gradually, then all at once. I'd been seeing a therapist twice a week since the divorce, working through the layers of betrayal. In one session, about 2 months after everything finalized, she asked a simple question. If you could design your ideal life right now, with no obligations to anyone else, what would it look like? I sat there, the question hanging in the air, and realized I couldn't answer it. I'd spent so long being what everyone else needed that I had no idea who I actually was or what I wanted. That's your homework, she said gently. Figure out what you want. At the top of every list I made that week was the same thing. Distance. Space. A fresh start where no one knew my story. I started researching transfers through my hospital network. We had facilities in almost every major city. I applied to Minneapolis and within 2 weeks got the offer. A slight promotion, better pay, and a city where no one knew my name. My parents found out when my mother called the apartment and the landlord mentioned I'd given notice. She called me 17 times that day. I answered the 18th. You're leaving? Her voice was shrill with panic. Without even telling us? I'm telling you now. Where are you going? Away. You can't just run from your problems. I'm not running from my problems, Mom. I'm running from you. The words felt cruel but true. Every time I see you, you ask if I've forgiven her yet. You never once asked how I'm doing. That's not fair. Of course I care. Do you? You chose when you didn't tell me about the affair. You choose her every single time. Silence. I got a transfer. I'm moving in 3 weeks. I won't be giving you the address. I need time to figure out who I am without all of this. How long? She asked, her voice small. I don't know. Maybe forever. The next 3 weeks were a whirlwind. I sold everything I could. Furniture from the apartment, most of my clothes, wedding gifts. Anything that reminded me of my old life went to donation centers. I kept my nursing certificates, photos from college, and my grandmother's necklace, the only family heirloom I cared about. I had distant cousins in Minneapolis, second cousins I'd met twice at family reunions. I reached out, explained I was relocating for work. They offered to help me apartment hunt. The kindness of near strangers felt safer than family. The day I left, I woke at 4 a.m, loaded my car, everything I owned fit in a sedan and small trailer, and drove out as the sun rose. I didn't say goodbye to my parents in person, didn't drive past the house I'd shared with my ex, didn't take a nostalgic tour. I just left. The drive took 2 days. I stopped at a motel in Iowa and cried for the first time since making the decision. Not sad tears exactly, more like release. Like setting down a weight I'd carried so long I'd forgotten it wasn't part of my body. Minneapolis was cold, even in early September. The apartment my cousins helped me find was small but mine, a 1-bedroom in a quiet neighborhood near a lake. My new hospital was bigger than my old one, busier, more impersonal in a way I found comforting. No one here knew I was divorced. No one knew about my sister. I was just another nurse, another transplant, another person starting over. I changed my phone number, deleted all my social media accounts, created new ones under my maiden name with privacy settings locked down. I wanted to be findable if I chose to be found, but not before I was ready. My parents sent letters to my old address. The landlord forwarded them. I read the first few, pleased to come home, updates about my sister's life I hadn't asked for, then stopped opening them. Eventually, I wrote return to sender and sent them back unopened. It was harsh. It was necessary. It was the only way I could breathe. The house my ex-husband and I had owned sold within 2 months. The proceeds were split as agreed. I put my half into savings and tried not to think about the life I'd planned in those rooms. My sister moved in with him shortly after. I found out through a mutual friend who didn't realize I'd cut all contact. I thanked her for telling me and asked her not to share any more updates. 6 months into my new life, I went on my first date since the divorce. A resident from the hospital, nice enough. We got coffee, talked about work and weather. It was boring in the best way. He didn't become anything serious, but it reminded me I could do this, meet someone new, exist as a person separate from my past. I was rebuilding, slowly, carefully, on my own terms. 9 months after I'd left, I finally felt like I could breathe properly. The nightmares had decreased. The constant knot in my stomach had loosened. I'd made friends at work, joined a book club, started taking pottery classes on weekends. Small things, normal things, the building blocks of a life. I thought I was safe. I thought I'd gotten far enough away. Then the invitation arrived. The envelope was cream-colored, expensive-looking, addressed in calligraphy to my new apartment. Someone had found me. The return address was my parents' house. I stood in my kitchen holding it, my hand shaking slightly. Part of me wanted to throw it away unopened, but something about the formality made me pause. I opened it. Inside was a wedding invitation. My sister and my ex-husband were getting married in 3 months. The ceremony would be at my parents' church, the reception at the same country club where my own wedding had been held. There was a note tucked inside, handwritten by my mother. "Dearest," it began, "I know this may come as a surprise, but your sister and he have found real love together. After everything that's happened, we hope you can find it in your heart to celebrate with them. Your sister specifically asked if you'd consider being a bridesmaid, just like she was at your wedding. She misses you terribly and wants nothing more than to have her sister by her side. We understand you've needed time and space, but it's been almost a year now. Family is forever. We miss you so much. Love, Mom." I sat down at my kitchen table and felt something hot and sharp rise in my chest. Not sadness, not even hurt anymore, just pure crystalline rage. The audacity, the sheer breathtaking audacity of it all. They wanted me to be a bridesmaid, to stand up there and smile while my sister married the man she'd stolen from me, to celebrate their love built on lies and betrayal and my complete destruction. I called my therapist, got her emergency line, left a message. She called back within an hour. "Tell me what happened," she said. I read her the invitation and note, my voice getting tighter with each word. "And how do you feel?" she asked, like I'm losing my mind. Like they're gaslighting me into thinking I'm the crazy one. Like they've rewritten history so completely that they genuinely believe I should be happy for them. "What do you want to do?" Part of me wants to write back with everything I'm thinking. Part of me wants to show up at that wedding and object. Part of me wants to set the invitation on fire and never speak to any of them again. Which part feels most true to who you are now? I was quiet for a long moment. The part that wants to set it on fire. Then maybe that's your answer. We talked for another 40 minutes. About boundaries, about family systems, about how sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is nothing at all. I took a photo of the invitation and note, saved them in a folder labeled Evidence. Then I shredded both, watching the strips fall into my trash can like confetti. I didn't respond. Didn't call, didn't write, didn't acknowledge receipt in any way. Silence was my answer. 3 days later, my mother called my work number. My supervisor came to find me. "You have a call. Says it's your mother. She says it's urgent." I took it in an empty conference room. "Did you get the invitation?" my mother asked. "Yes." And nothing. "I'm not coming." "Don't be ridiculous. It's your sister's wedding." "To my ex-husband," I interrupted. "Mom, you want me to celebrate the relationship that ended my marriage? That destroyed my family. That made me leave everything I knew. And you think I should be a bridesmaid? It's been a year. It could be 10 years and the answer would still be no. Your sister wants you there. She's been so depressed. She cries every night knowing you won't be part of her special day." Something in me snapped. She cries? She's depressed? Mom, she slept with my husband, in my bed, for months, while living in my house. And you're asking me to care about her feelings? She made a mistake. Stop calling it a mistake. Mistakes are accidental. This was a choice. Hundreds of choices. Every single day they chose to betray me and you chose to enable it. And now you want me to smile and celebrate? If you don't come, you'll regret it. No, Mom, you'll regret that I'm not there. Because it'll be harder to pretend everything is fine if I'm not there playing along. I hung up. My hands were shaking, but I felt lighter. Like I'd finally said things that needed to be said for years. The wedding happened without me. I found out later through a mutual friend. It was beautiful, apparently. My sister wore white. My parents looked happy in the photos. I spent that day at a pottery class, my hands covered in clay, making a lopsided bowl. It was one of the better days I'd had in a long time. 4 years. 4 whole years passed before I saw any of them again. They were good years. Hard-earned, carefully built years. I'd gotten promoted to charge nurse. Started dating someone seriously. A chef named Patrick, who worked at a restaurant downtown, who made me laugh and didn't ask too many questions about my past. We'd moved in together after a year, and 3 months ago, he'd proposed. The ring was simple, exactly what I would have chosen. I was happy. Actually, genuinely happy in a way I hadn't known was possible. Then, on a Saturday afternoon in October, someone buzzed my apartment. Patrick was at work. Lunch service. I was home cleaning, planning to meet him later for dinner. I almost didn't answer the intercom. Hello? It's me. A voice I hadn't heard in 4 years but would have recognized anywhere. Can we talk? My ex-husband. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. Then anger flooded through me. No, I said. Please. 5 minutes. I just need closure. You need closure? I laughed. You've had 4 years. I'm not your therapist. I'm getting divorced. I need to talk to someone who understands. Please. I should have hung up. Should have called security. Instead, I buzzed him up. He looked different when I opened my door. Thinner, older, tired. He was dressed nicely. Too nicely, like he'd put effort into this visit. You look well, he said. I am well. I didn't invite him in. You have 5 minutes. He glanced past me, noticing Patrick's jacket, the photos on the wall. You're seeing someone. I'm engaged. 4 minutes. Pain flickered across his face. I'm happy for you, really. 3.5 minutes. I'm getting divorced. From your sister. It's ugly. And I needed to say I'm sorry. For everything. I leaned against my door frame, arms crossed. And you thought showing up unannounced would make that better? I didn't know how else to reach you. I hired someone to find you. You stalked me? I needed closure. Needed you to know that you were right about everything. I already knew I was right. She cheated on me, he said. Multiple times. With multiple men. The entire marriage. I finally understood what I put you through. I felt nothing. No satisfaction. No vindication. Just vast, empty indifference. Is that what you came for? To tell me your marriage failed? To get me to forgive you? I don't expect forgiveness. I just wanted you to know that I understand what I lost. You want to know what you lost? I stepped closer. You lost someone who loved you completely, who trusted you. You lost that when you chose to sleep with my sister in our bed, every single day for 3 months, and you lost any right to my time when you let me walk in and find you together. He flinched. You don't get closure from me. You don't get forgiveness. You don't get to feel better because you're facing consequences. You get to live with what you did. The difference is, I built something better. You just repeated the same mistakes with someone worse. I know, he said quietly. Then why are you here? I wanted to see that you were okay, that we didn't destroy you. You didn't destroy me. You hurt me. There's a difference. And I'm more than okay. I'm happy. I'm building a life with someone who deserves my trust. Your sister moved back in with your parents, he said. After I filed. She has nothing. No job, no money. I made sure of that. I don't care what happens to her. I don't care what happens to any of you. That's what 4 years of no contact looks like. Your parents ask about you, they miss you. They should have thought of that before. Now your 5 minutes are up. Don't come back here. Don't try to find me again. We're done. I started to close the door, but he put his hand out. Wait. I'm glad you're happy. You deserved better than what I gave you. I know, I said. Goodbye. I closed the door, locked it, and called building security to add him to the no-entry list. Then I called Patrick. Hey, beautiful, he answered, kitchen noise in the background. What's up? My ex-husband just showed up at our apartment. What? Are you okay? Do you need me to come home? No. I'm fine, he's gone. I just needed to hear your voice. I'm coming home. Patrick, you're in the middle of service. I don't care. Give me 20 minutes. He was there in 15, still in his chef's jacket. He held me while I told him everything. You're amazing, he said. You know that? The way you handled that? I just told him the truth. Exactly. He kissed my forehead. Ready for dinner? We can go somewhere else if you want. No, I want to go to the restaurant. I want to sit at the bar and watch you cook and remember that I have an actual future now. And that's exactly what we did. I thought that would be the end of it. One awkward confrontation, security alerted, chapter closed. I should have known better. He showed up at Patrick's restaurant 3 days later. I was sitting at the bar like I did most evenings when Patrick worked late, nursing a glass of wine and reading. The restaurant was busy but not packed. Then he walked in. I saw him before he saw me. He looked around, uncertain, overdressed in a suit. Then his eyes found mine. I stood immediately, ready to leave, but he was already walking over. Please, he said. I just want to talk. 5 minutes. Then I'll never bother you again. You said that last time. I know. But there are things you should know. About your sister. About what really happened. Patrick appeared beside me, spatula in hand. Everything okay here? This is my ex-husband. He was just leaving. Patrick looked at me. Your call. Part of me wanted to walk away, but another part wanted to know. Wanted to understand how bad it had really been. One conversation, I said. Then you leave and don't come back. Ever. Patrick squeezed my hand before returning to the kitchen, though I could see him watching us. My ex sat down, ordered a whiskey he didn't drink. She was cheating the entire time, he started. Not just with me, before me. Her boyfriend didn't catch her at the gym. She got caught in their bed with his best friend. I felt nothing. No surprise, just tired acceptance. She needed a place to stay and saw an opportunity. She wanted what you had. I figured that out myself. Did you know she targeted me deliberately? At work, before she even moved in. She'd seen photos of us, knew we were married. The day you got her the interview, she already knew exactly who I was. That surprised me. The premeditation. She pursued me, he said. I'm not innocent. I made the choice. But she planned it. Every lunch, every late night, every time she showed up when you were at work. Why are you telling me this? Because you should know it wasn't about you. She's a parasite. She finds people who have something she wants and takes it. And you're just realizing this now? I realized it 6 months into the marriage. Found messages on her phone. She was sleeping with at least 3 other men, all married, all with something she wanted. Money, status, connections. He sipped his whiskey. I confronted her. She cried, apologized. I stayed, like an idiot. She kept cheating. I kept finding out. You're telling me this because you want sympathy? No, I'm telling you because when I filed for divorce, I made sure she got nothing. I'd hidden assets, documented every affair. She tried to take me for everything, but my lawyers made sure she walked away with barely enough for a security deposit. She's broke, unemployed, back living with your parents. I processed this slowly. You destroyed her financially? I did what she deserved. It was vindictive, calculated, the kind of revenge I'd fantasized about years ago. But hearing about it now, I felt no satisfaction, just distant pity. And my parents? I asked. Not well. She's still the golden child, but even they're getting tired of her. Your dad mentioned they missed you, that they'd made a mistake. Too little, too late. That's what I said. He finished his whiskey. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I just thought you deserved to know the full story, to know you were right to walk away. I already knew that. He nodded, stood up, pulled out his wallet. I'm sorry, he said, for all of it. I hope that guy, he gestured toward Patrick, knows how lucky he is. He does, I said. Goodbye. This time, he actually left. Patrick came over immediately. You okay? Yeah, actually I am. And I meant it. Hearing the full extent of my sister's manipulation, her continued pattern of betrayal, none of it hurt. It just confirmed what I already knew. Leaving had been right. What did he want? To tell me I was right, that she was worse than I thought, that he destroyed her financially, and she's living with my parents now. Good, Patrick said with surprising vehemence. Then softer. Does it help? Knowing that? Not really, but it doesn't hurt either. I just feel free, like that was the last piece I needed to hear before I could completely move on. He kissed my forehead. Then let's move on. Together. And we did. Life moved forward. Patrick and I got married 6 months later in a small ceremony at the lake, surrounded by friends and his family who'd become mine. No drama, no unwanted guests, just love and laughter and promises we both intended to keep. We had our first child a year after that, then a second. Patrick's parents became the grandparents mine never were. His sister became the family I'd always wished for. We built something real, something solid, something that had nothing to do with the people who'd hurt me. I thought that was the end of the story. Then, 5 years after my ex showed up at the restaurant, my phone started ringing. The call started on a Tuesday. Unknown numbers, all from my old area code. I ignored the first 3, blocked them. Then more came. By Thursday, I'd blocked 15 numbers. Then, the emails started. From addresses I didn't recognize, with subjects like, please read and it's urgent. I deleted them without opening them. Friday morning, I got a message on social media from a cousin I barely knew. Your family is trying to reach you. It's important. Please call your mother. I stared at the message. Patrick was at the restaurant. The kids were at school. The house was quiet. Part of me wanted to ignore it, but another part needed to know what could possibly be so urgent. I called my mother's number. She answered on the first ring. Hello? Her voice was older, shakier than I remembered. 9 years since I'd heard it. It's me, I said. A sob. Oh God. Oh, thank God. We've been trying to reach you for weeks. What do you want? Can we do a video call? Please. Your father and sister need to see you. We need to talk. Every instinct screamed at me to hang up, but curiosity won. Fine. One call. Then I'm blocking all of you again. She sent a link immediately. I clicked it. Suddenly, I was looking at my parents' living room. They were older. My mother's hair completely gray, my father thinner. And between them, looking pale and exhausted, was my sister. She looked terrible, thin in an unhealthy way, dark circles under her eyes, skin sallow, wearing pajamas in the afternoon. "You look good," my mother said, tears streaming. "Is that your house? Are those photos of children?" I turned my laptop so they couldn't see my family photos. "What do you want?" My father cleared his throat. "Your sister is sick. I'm sorry to hear that. But I'm not a doctor. If she needs medical advice, she should see a specialist." "We have," my mother said quickly. "Dozens. She has kidney disease. Stage 4 renal failure. She needs a transplant." I felt something cold settle in my stomach. "And you're calling me because?" "Because you're family," my father said. "We had her tested. Her tissue type is rare. We've been on the transplant list for 2 years. No matches. But you're her sister. There's a strong possibility you'd be compatible." The silence stretched. I could hear my heartbeat. "You want my kidney?" I said slowly. "We want you to get tested," my mother corrected, "to see if you're a match. Siblings have the best chance." "No, please," my sister spoke, her voice weak. "I know I don't deserve it. I know what I did was unforgivable, but I'm dying. The doctors say maybe a year without a transplant. Maybe less." "That's terrible," I said, and meant it. It was terrible, but it wasn't my problem. "We'll pay for everything," my father said. "All the testing, surgery, recovery costs. We'll pay you." "You think this is about money? You think you can buy my kidney?" "No, of course not," my mother said quickly. We don't know what else to say. She's our daughter, your sister. Family helps family. Family doesn't sleep with your husband. Family doesn't manipulate and destroy your life. Family doesn't ask the person they betrayed to give up an organ." "I know," my sister said, crying. "I know I was awful. I was jealous and selfish. But I'm begging you, please, just get tested. If you're not a match, then at least we tried. If I am, then what? I give you my kidney and we're family again? Everything is forgiven?" "No," my father said firmly. "We're not asking for reconciliation. We're asking for mercy." Mercy. The word hung in the air. "How did you find me?" I asked. "Your ex-husband," my mother admitted. "He told us where you were. Said you'd moved on. He said we shouldn't bother you. But you needed something from me. We didn't know what else to do. She's dying. I have 2 daughters," I said quietly. 2 little girls who don't know you exist, who have grandparents who love them, who show up for them, who would never ask them to sacrifice themselves for someone who destroyed them. "Please," my mother whispered. "Please just think about it. Just get tested." "I'll think about it," I heard myself say. "I'll call you back in a week." I disconnected. When Patrick came home, I told him everything. He listened, his face growing angrier. "You're not seriously considering this," he said. "I don't know what I'm considering. She destroyed your life. She doesn't deserve your kidney. I know. But what if I don't do it and she dies? What if I could have saved her and chose not to? That's not on you. That's on her. Actions have consequences. I need time to think." And I did. For a week, I thought about almost nothing else. I talked to my therapist. I talked to Patrick's sister. I lay awake at night, weighing mercy against justice, family against betrayal. In the end, I did the only thing I could do. I got tested. The test results came back in 3 days. Perfect match. 6 out of 6 markers. The doctor used words like exceptional compatibility and ideal donor candidate. "But you're under no obligation," he said carefully. "Being a match doesn't mean you have to donate." I called my mother. "I'm a match. Perfect match." The sound she made was somewhere between a sob and a prayer. "Oh, thank God. I haven't said I'll do it, but you're thinking about it. I need to talk to you all again, in person, at the hospital where she's being treated. I want to talk to her doctors." "Yes." "Of course. Anything." We set it up for the following week. Patrick didn't want me to go alone, but I needed to do this myself. The drive back felt surreal. I'd left 9 years ago, swearing I'd never return. I met my parents in the hospital lobby. They looked older in person, smaller. My mother tried to hug me. I stepped back. Not yet. Maybe not ever. They took me to a conference room where my sister was waiting with her nephrologist. She looked worse in person. jaundiced, swollen, exhausted. The doctor explained everything. Her kidney function was at 12%. She was on dialysis 3 times a week. Without a transplant, maybe 6 months. With one, she could live normally. And the surgery for the donor? Laparoscopic. Small incisions. Quick recovery. Most donors are back to normal within 6 weeks. You can live a perfectly healthy life with 1 kidney. And if I decide to do this, what's the timeline? We could schedule within 2 weeks. The sooner the better. She's declining quickly. I looked at my sister. This person who'd destroyed my life, now dying and asking for more. Can I speak to my family alone? The medical staff left. Just the 4 of us now. If I do this, I started, I need things from you first. Anything, my mother said immediately. I need the truth. About everything. About why you chose her over me. My father shifted uncomfortably. We made mistakes. That's not the truth. That's a deflection. We thought you were strong enough to handle it. My mother said quietly. She's always been fragile. Needy. And you were always so independent, we thought... She stopped. We thought wrong. We failed you. And the kidney? Is this just about the kidney? Or is there more you need? Silence. Too long. There's more, isn't there? My father cleared his throat. The medical bills, even with insurance, they're substantial. We've taken out a second mortgage. We're drowning. If you could help, you want money too. I laughed without humor. You want my kidney and my money. A loan, he said quickly. We'd pay you back. With what? You're already drowning. We'll sell the house if we have to. But right now we need help. And you're the only one who can give it. How much? $50,000 to clear the medical debt and catch up on the mortgage. I turned to look at them. All 3, desperate and broken, asking me to fix what they'd destroyed. I need time. I'll call you in 2 days with my decision. 2 days? My sister's voice panicked. I might not have 2 days. Every day I wait. Then you should have thought of that before you slept with my husband, I said coldly. Before you destroyed my life. 2 days. That's what you get. I left. Drove to a hotel, called Patrick, told him everything. They want money too? He sounded incredulous. Your kidney and $50,000? They're desperate. They're manipulative. This is extortion. I know. So what are you going to do? I was quiet. I'm going to give her my kidney. What? But not my money. Not my forgiveness. Not my family. I'm giving her my kidney because I can live with saving her life even if she doesn't deserve it. But I can't live with letting her die when I could have helped. That's not who I am. Patrick was quiet. But I'm doing it my way, I continued. On my terms. And then I'm walking away forever. Okay, he said finally. I trust you. Whatever you decide, I'm with you. And that reminded me why I'd rebuilt my life. Why I'd chosen better. I called my mother the next morning. I'll donate the kidney, I said. But you need to hear what comes with that decision. Anything. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm not giving you money. Not a loan. Not a gift. Nothing. You'll have to figure that out yourselves. And after the surgery, after recovery, I'm gone again. This doesn't mean we're family. This doesn't mean reconciliation. This means I'm choosing to save her life because it's the right thing to do, not because she deserves it. We understand. Do you? Because I need you to really understand. I'm not doing this for you. I'm not doing this for her. I'm doing this for me, so I can look at myself in the mirror, so I can tell my daughters someday that when I had the power to save a life, I did it, even when that person had hurt me. That's the only reason. My mother was crying. We'll take whatever you're willing to give. Then let's schedule the surgery. 2 weeks later, I was back in that hospital, being prepped for surgery. Patrick had come with me this time, refused to let me do this part alone. He sat with me in pre-op, holding my hand. You're sure about this? He asked one more time. I'm sure about us, I said. And that's all that matters. They wheeled me into surgery. The last thing I remember is the anesthesiologist telling me to count backward from 10. When I woke up, it was done. I had told my mother I would give the kidney, but I hadn't told her when. After that phone call, I flew back home, told Patrick about my decision, told him I needed a few days to prepare myself mentally. The surgery would be scheduled soon, but first I needed to arrange things. Time off work, childcare, recovery plans. But something kept nagging at me. The way they'd asked for money, too. The way my mother had seemed more relieved than grateful. The way my father had jumped straight to financial planning. The way my sister had looked at me, not with remorse, but with expectation. like I owed her this. I spent those days thinking, really thinking, about what this meant, about what I was teaching my daughters if I gave my sister everything while getting nothing, not even an apology that felt real. I called my therapist for an emergency session. "You're having second thoughts," she said. It wasn't a question. "I don't know if I can do it, not because I'm scared of the surgery, but because I'm scared of what it means, that I'm still letting them use me, that I'm still choosing their needs over my own boundaries. What would it mean to say no? It would mean she might die. And what would it mean to say yes? I was quiet for a long time. It would mean I'm still the one who has to be strong, who has to sacrifice, who has to save everyone while they take and never give back. Those are both heavy weights to carry. Which one feels right for you?" I didn't answer. Couldn't answer. A week passed, then another. My mother called daily. I didn't answer. "They needed to schedule soon," she said in voicemails. "Time was running out. Please call back." Patrick found me in our bedroom one night staring at my phone. "What are you going to do?" he asked. "I think I need to go back, one more time, to talk to them face to face, to make sure I can live with whatever choice I make. Want me to come?" "No, I need to do this alone." I flew back 3 days later, called my mother from the airport. "I'm in town," I said. "I want to meet at the hospital. All of you. I need to talk to you before we schedule anything." "Of course. We can be there in an hour." I sat in that same conference room where we'd met before, waited for them to arrive. My parents came first, looking anxious. Then my sister, in a wheelchair now, looking worse than before. "Thank you for coming back," my mother started. "We can schedule the surgery for next week." "I need to say something first," I interrupted. "And I need you all to listen." They fell silent. 9 years ago, you destroyed me. You took everything I had, my marriage, my family, my home, my sense of safety, and you chose her over me. You watched it happen. You enabled it. And when I tried to heal, you asked me to forgive her, to understand, to be the bigger person. "We know," my father said quietly. "We've apologized." "No, you haven't. Not really. You've said you made mistakes. That's not the same as understanding what you did. That's not the same as taking responsibility." My sister started to speak, but I held up my hand. "I came back because I wanted to believe that saving your life would somehow make this better, that it would prove I was strong enough, good enough, better than all of you. But here's what I realized. Giving you my kidney doesn't make me strong. It makes me a doormat. It teaches my daughters that when people hurt you, you still have to save them. That family can destroy you and you still owe them everything. So you're not going to do it," my mother said, her voice breaking. "You're going to let her die. I'm going to let the consequences of her choices be her responsibility," I said. "I'm going to stop saving people who won't save themselves, who won't even truly apologize or change." I stood up, looked at my sister directly for the first time. "You wanted what I had, so you took it. You didn't care what it cost me. And now you want what I have again. My health, my organ, my sacrifice. And you still don't care what it costs me. You're the same person you always were. And I'm done being your solution." My sister started sobbing. "Please, I'll die. You're going to let me die. You made choices that led you here. I'm just refusing to fix them for you." I looked at my parents. "You chose her over me every time it mattered. So now you get to deal with the consequences of that choice. Find another donor. Sell your house. Figure it out. But stop asking me to bleed for people who would never bleed for me." I walked toward the door. "If you walk out," my mother said, "we'll never forgive you." I turned back. "Good. That makes us even." And I left. I left them in that hospital room, left them with their choices and their consequences, left them with the life they'd built by choosing wrong again and again. I drove straight to the airport, called Patrick from the gate. "I didn't do it," I said. "I'm coming home." "Good," he said, and I could hear the relief in his voice. "Come home, where you belong." And I did. The aftermath was quieter than I expected. No desperate calls, no hospital visits, no dramatic confrontations, just silence. Complete, absolute silence from everyone in my old life. For the first few weeks, I waited for the guilt to come, but it never did. Instead, I felt lighter, freer, like I'd finally put down a weight I'd been carrying my entire life. I thought saying no would destroy me, I told Patrick one night. And it saved me. 3 months later, I got an email from the cousin who'd first reached out. "Your sister found a donor. Some distant relative agreed to get tested and was compatible. The surgery happened last week. She's recovering well." I sat with that information for a long time. She was okay. She'd survived. Not because of me, but despite me. The world hadn't ended when I said no. I felt relief. Not guilt, not regret, just pure relief. I didn't respond to the email. 6 months later, Patrick and I had our third child, a boy, born on a snowy January morning. We named him after Patrick's grandfather, surrounded him with love and real family. Life moved forward. My daughters grew, started school, learned to swim in the lake. They knew nothing about my biological family. To them, family was Patrick's parents who babysat and made cookies, Patrick's sister who took them to movies, the friends who became aunts and uncles by choice. I got promoted to nursing director. Patrick opened his own restaurant. Small, intimate, perfect. We bought a bigger house with a yard big enough for 3 kids, a garden, a dog. We built a life, a real life where love wasn't conditional, where support wasn't transactional, where family meant people who chose you every day. 2 years after I'd walked out of that hospital, I heard my sister had gotten married to that wealthy man. My parents were thrilled, posted photos all over social media of a lavish wedding I wasn't invited to. I looked at the photos once, saw my sister in white again, my parents beaming beside her, and I felt nothing. Not anger, not bitterness, just distant pity. I closed the browser and went to make dinner. 5 years later, 14 years after the original betrayal, I was at the grocery store with my youngest when someone called my name. My mother, older, tired-looking, holding a basket with just a few items. "It's me," she said. My heart didn't race. I just looked at her and felt remarkably calm. "I know who you are. You look good. Your son, he's beautiful. Thank you. I think about you every day. Your father and I talk about what we lost, about how we got it all so wrong. Okay. Your sister, she's divorced now. Only lasted 3 years. He left her for someone else. She's back with us. Still struggling, still making poor choices. I'm sorry to hear that. We understand now what you tried to tell us, that we enabled her, that we failed you. We're sorry, truly sorry." I looked at her for a long moment. "I believe you're sorry, and I hope that understanding helps you make better choices. But it doesn't change anything for me. I have a family now, a real one, and I'm happy. So that's it. After everything, I chose myself. I chose the life I wanted instead of the family I was born into, and I don't regret it." My son tugged my hand. "Mama, can we get the cookies?" "Of course, baby." I looked at my mother one last time. "I hope you find what you're looking for, but it won't be with me." I walked away, finished my shopping, drove home, made dinner while our kids played in the backyard. That's the thing about choosing yourself. It doesn't fix the past or erase the pain, but it gives you a future. A real one where you're not constantly trying to be enough for people who will never see your value. My sister survived, found another donor, lived to make more poor choices, continued being exactly who she'd always been. My parents continued enabling her, continued their patterns, and I continued building something better. Now, when my daughters ask about grandparents, I tell them about Patrick's parents. When they ask about family, I show them the people who love them unconditionally. The last I heard, my sister was still with my parents, still struggling, still looking for someone to save her. And I'm here, in my house by the lake, with my husband, 3 children, and chosen family, living proof that you can survive betrayal, that you can walk away from toxicity, that you can choose yourself and build something beautiful from the ashes. My ex-husband is a footnote in someone else's story now. This is mine, and it's a good one. Not because I got revenge or because they suffered, but because I finally gave myself what I deserved: peace, love, and a family that chose me back. That's the real ending, and I'd choose it again, every single time.